much improved. What do you take from that?
Yeah, well, we take that. We take that it was much improved from last week, and that's pleasing when you've got a group like this that's had a fair bit of work to do from where it was last year anyway, to progress to a point where we really challenged, I think, one of the best teams in the competition. And have a lead like we did midway through the third term says that what we're doing is okay. It's just a matter of being able to sustain it for 4 quarters, and it seems to be the problem at the moment.
What fell down for you?
I think we lost our way through the middle of the ground in transition, and that opened up a few opportunities from them going into their forward half, and our defenders just got caught out with too many players coming at them. So that was disappointing. It's just an awareness situation. It's not a skill-based problem. That's just an awareness situation. And I think in the end we probably worked so hard to cover off on everyone, and everyone got a bit frantic that we just ran out of gas in the last 5 minutes, which even though that happened, we still rallied and tried to get ourselves back in the game with a couple of late goals, or that late goal. So we didn't give up, which was pleasing, and we didn't get monstered, and I think we were the better team for 2.5 quarters, but you've got to be a 4-quarter team.
There's a lot to like there, but with a condensed season, 0-2 is a bit of a hole.
Yeah, well, it would have been a big result today for Conference B for the way that the matches have fallen this round so far. Would have been a huge opportunity for us to get back into it. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. 2 games is obviously not ideal to lose at the start of the season, but when you're playing 2 of the better teams and developing like we have from last week to this week, I'm fully confident the girls have got plenty enough in the tank to learn again this week or next week against the Giants and keep evolving. And this is all, what we're doing with them is all new for them. It's a bit foreign to a lot of them, the way that we're trying to play, and it's going to take some time. But as we saw today, so much better than last week. So if that linear progression keeps going, we'll be okay.
What was the plan with Erin Phillips? It was like Bree Davies started on her and then quickly moved away, and then Jess Edwards was on her.
Yeah, well, Erin starts in the middle, most centre bounces, and tries to have some influence around there because she's such a good player. And then she just rolls forward pretty much on her terms. So we were happy to start Bree in the middle as well and have an impact for us as our captain and lead from the front. And then she was going to roll forward. So it was just a matter of handing over at the right time for Jess and for whoever else had her down back. Jade Van Dyke, who I thought was enormous again for us down back, were the options for us to cover off down back. So that was just the system. It's the way Adelaide play with Erin. We chose to do the same thing with Bree this week, second game back from Enrico. She's still got a long way to go in terms of being fully fit at the moment, like as she would be normally without a reconstruction. People sometimes forget that it is her second game back from Rico. She's done a hell of a job to get to this point, but she's still some work to do from a condition perspective.
What's the issue with Taylor Harrison's shoulder?
Yeah, no, just a little flare-up. She copped a knock yesterday. Our captain's run, which was a bit of a setback, and it just needed an injection to sort her out. So it was a bit of a flare-up. She'll be fine. She'll train probably Wednesday and be hopefully right for the Giants next week.
It looked like she was involved in the pre-game warm-ups. Was it a case of like giving her every chance up to the last second, or did she flare it up again right before the match?
No. She was out. She had the jab yesterday after training. We had the scan done pretty quick because clearly she's a very important player for us. So she was out of the game. Last night was effectively when it was called. We did sort of sneak a chance for her to play today, but it was never going to happen. So that was the way it was with Tay.
Did Thompson catch a bit by surprise? She certainly was very important up front.
Wasn't she ever? She was fantastic. Yeah, no, she played a great game. It didn't catch us by surprise, but just we would have loved her not to have played that well. So, I mean, does it catch you by surprise? No, not really. Good players, they're good players, these girls. They're very capable players, very good quality players. So, yeah, it certainly wasn't ideal that she got off the chain a bit, but I think that was more a reflection of how we rolled off to try and cover the ball coming in, and she found herself in really clever space. She's a pretty clever player and finished really well. So, didn't catch us by surprise, but we would have liked to have kept a bit of a handle on her a bit better than we did.
Maddie Pisparker's output, she looked like she's pretty accomplished at this level.
Yeah, and Maddie's a terrific kid, and we do need to remember she still is a kid, but she's a great competitor, and she's a class footballer. She's been playing footy for a long time, and this is the next generation, next wave of players that are coming through will be similar to Maddie, that have played since they're 8 and Auskick and all the way through the pathway programs that are now set up, and you'll see that level of player coming through the journey. Hopefully not as good as Mads, because we quite like her, and we'd like her to be number one. Well, she certainly is for us from a draft perspective. She's a great kid. She wants to learn. She wants to be a terrific player. She wants to be a great player, and that's a great driving force for her. And to see her out there, let alone this week, but also last week under a fair bit of pressure, deal with that pressure and still be one of our most influential players is a really positive sign for things to come from her. She's a ripper.
Do you feel like that momentum you've got now is is, I guess, more important than when you look at the ladder and see 0-2?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Last week we were pretty flat on the back of the way that we played against the Kangas. Now, the form's been franked a bit to what they did to the Giants the other night in difficult conditions. So you've got to make sure you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But to progress like we did today, to get to the level of play we did today from last week, that's pleasing. Clearly you want to win this game when you put yourself in a position like we did to do it. So that's pleasing. It's just a matter of holding on now and making sure it's a 4-quarter performance rather than just 2.5.
One more thing, the mention of the money being put in to redevelop the stadium to make it the home of women's footy in Australia. Are you keen to stick around and kind of be at the forefront of that?
My word. No, it's a great opportunity for the footy club, but also for women's footy to have a significant investment from state government, federal government to upgrade a facility like this, which is still a fantastic facility, but does need upgrading, and particularly from a lighting perspective, which I know I hope will be part of the spend through the journey. It's fantastic. I think it's not only the investment in Icon Park, but local clubs are getting a lot of investment for change rooms and facilities and that type of thing, because there are so many girls playing footy on the back of what's happening out there like it did today. So it's fantastic investment. We really appreciate the support of the governments, state and federal, with their backing. But I think women's footy is the real winner. It's not so much us, but it's women's footy get investment and support from the governments and the hierarchy. And that's a fantastic message to be sent, let alone opportunity for the girls.
Any other injury issues?
No, I think we're good. I haven't heard from the physios just yet, in all honesty. But I don't think we had too many issues through the day. So hopefully we get a clean bill.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.